Hare Srinivasa. Prasanna Varadam Dhyayet. Prasanna Gunapuranam. Prasanna Venkatam Vande. Guru Bhavam Padashraye. We seek the blessings of Prasanna Venkata Dasaru, who obtained his Ankita at Tirumala and who was a very ardent devotee of Tirumalesha. In this Suladhi, he is talking about the Deha, about the body, the human form, which is so much valuable to a jiva. And that form, it is made to act. I mean, the ability of the jiva to perform in this deha is through the mind, mental processes, then the indriyas and everything. So all these indriyas and the mind and its different levels are all worked by other devathas. The other devathas are the intelligent forces which act upon inside the body. Because when we see any process in the human form, we can understand that there is some kind of intelligent forces acting along. And those intelligent forces are the actions of the devatas. We can conclude that because the science says intelligence is there. The body's immune system itself is very intelligent. The circulatory system is so intelligent that if it finds some block somewhere, it will find a way to move over through another artery. That is how the heart itself functions. So circulatory, the nervous system, everything has its own method to rectify itself. If there is a problem also, it rectifies itself and tries to move it. So these kind of processes itself show the existence of some intelligent activity inside the body. Any intelligent activity has to stem from the mind of an intelligent being, consciousness of an intelligent being. And those beings are known as the devathas. I mean, they are the devathas who function inside our body. So here, Prasna Venkatadasaru is giving us an idea about how the Deha is worked by the devathas. What are the responsibilities of certain devathas? He is giving just one idea. And in detail, if you want to learn it, then we have to go through with the Harikatamrita Sara. There is a Gunataratamya Sandhi is there. Anutaratamya Sandhi is there. More details are given in Kakshatarathamya Sandhi and Brihattaratamya Sandhi. So in the Kakshatarathamya Sandhi, they discuss about every devata and what their function is, how they are placed in the hierarchy of the devatas. So this is somewhat this Suladhi is more like a Taratamya Suladhi, where the devatas and their positions are indicated, by which we know what is their hierarchy. Starting from Brahma and Vayu, it goes down. They have handled up to the Kaksha number 13, where Varuna is there. So here we look at the Suladhi now. ಹರಿಯ ನಗರವು ಕಲೇವರವು ತಾತ್ವಿಕರೆಲ್ಲ ಹರಿಯ ಚಾರಕರು ಮನಸ್ತತ್ವದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಂದು ಪರಿಪರಿ ವ್ಯಾಪಾರಗಳ ಮಾಡಿಸುವರು ಶ್ರೀ ಹರಿಯ ಪ್ರೇರಣೆಯಿಂದ ಹರಿಸೇವೆಯೆಂದು. Why are these devatas in this body? He is saying Hariya Nagaravu Kalevaravu. Kalevara means this Deha. This Deha itself is the city of Paramatma. Nagara, Kalevara, where he resides, where he is the king. Hari is the king of this body. He also has said that Kshetrajnatva is Aham hi Kshetrajnaha, he says. I am the Kshetrajna, means I am the one who knows about the body. The Kshetra is the Sharira, is the Kshetra. And Paramatma is the Kshetrajna, who knows about the body. So this body is his Nagara, because he resides in the heart lotus and he controls everything. And he controls everything means what all things are there inside. We know all the different avayavas from the outside. We know head is there. In the head we have the eyes, nose, ears, everything. Then we have hands, legs, and body. And inside the body, again, in the abdominal area, we have so many functions. Alimentary canal is there. The chest is having the heart is there. The lung is there. So many things are there. Everything is physically there. But here, what we are talking about is how the mental processes work. And the sadhana of the jiva happens with that mental process. So he's saying that Manasu Tattvadalli Nindu. ಯಾರು ಮನಸ್ಸು ತತ್ವದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಂದು ತಾತ್ವಿಕರೆಲ್ಲ ಹರಿಯ ಚಾರಕರು. ಹರಿಯ ಚಾರಕರು means they are the sevakas of Sri Hari and they are in the manas tattva. Manassu itself is having different levels. Manasu, Buddhi, Ahankara, Chitta. So these four levels are there which are enabled by the devathas functioning as the servants of Paramatma. They do their jobs or works. Nindu paripari vyaparagala. They do many different types of actions. Madisuvaru. They make it happen. See, what happens is that suppose the person has to tide over a difficult situation. Then if the mind is very strong, that is, if the mind is telling them this is nothing, you can easily surmount this situation, that prerana, if it comes, then that person finds it very easy, he is able to cross it over. Whereas if there is not such a difficult situation also, sometimes if the mind is not strong enough, that is, the prerana is very weak, you cannot do this, is the negative prerana, if they are getting, they will not be able to do it. So we can see that every action that we are doing is controlled by the mind to a certain extent. And that is the highest level of prayerness. No, I mean, unless and until we get that in our mind, the inspiration, we cannot act. That is why paripari vyaparagala, whatever the jiva is engaged in doing, has been approved by these devatas. If they have not approved, we would not be doing it. So whatever has been approved by the devatas, they are doing it as the service of Paramatma, and that is like a blessing to us, because if the Surya is the Kannina Devata, but without the action of the Rudra, who is along with the eye, he makes us see what we are seeing, and once we see the object, what we are seeing, then that object in relation to our experience is also revealed. So our experience is what the ahankara says. Ahankara means not the usual one that we say yuriktumba ahankara, means ego. But here that is not the thing. Here ahankara means the I-ness. I have observed this. I have seen this. That experience that I can relate to that thing having some relationship with me. That is the I-ness that is talked of here. So if Rudra Devru is in the ahankara and he enables that person to remember the object. Suppose you are walking on the forest path and you see a snake. Now, you know that from previous experience or learnings, we know that the snake is something which we should not play with. We should be far away from it. So accordingly, our brain will be able to decide. Suppose that person has never seen a snake or had no experience, or he forgot about it. That is a person who has forgotten the experiences. There are such people, no, whose memory is completely lapsed. Then they will not be able to decide which is correct, which is wrong, because they don't have that information coming to them. I have experienced this. This is dangerous. That feeling, if we get, then only we can go away from the danger object. Otherwise, we wouldn't. So that ahankara and chitta work hand in hand to help us to act. So these actions that we are doing are all dictated by the devatas as per the wish of Hari. Now we look at those devatas. That is what he wants us to focus on. See, these are the devatas who are helping us. They are supporting us. And so we should be aware of their names. We should be aware of what is their function. And we should be thankful to him, to those devatas. That is the general rule of any dealings. If you have someone who is helping you, then it is natural that you would thank them. Same way inside the body, because it is appearing to be, we don't see any person here. We are not able to cognize that there is one actual being here. So that is why we cannot really go and thank them. But when we know and understand that they are devatas inside the mind who are helping us to do all the vyaparas in the world, then we would definitely want to think about them and thank them. And that is the gratitude that is required for the further good functioning of those organs. ಹರಿಯೇ ಹರಿಯ ಪ್ರೇರಣೆಯಿಂದ ಹರಿ ಸೇವೆಯೆಂದು ಸಿರಿ ವೈಷ್ಣವ ಧರ್ಮ ಪ್ರೇರಕ ಪದುಮ ಸಂಭವನು. So he is saying, by the grace of God, ಹರಿಯ ಪ್ರೇರಣೆಯಿಂದ. Hari has told, okay, this jiva is supposed to do these good Vaishnava karmas. Suppose we are going for a yatra, Badrinath yatra. That is a good Vaishnava karma, because Badri is a place for the Vaishnavas to go and visit. It's a big tirtha. And then on the way, you have so many prayagas where you can do snana. You can go to Ganga Tira in Haridwar. You can do dhana there. You can do japa there. All these things are all Vaishnava karmas. How will we be doing that? Why does one person do it and another person doesn't do it? Even after going to the yatra, all the Vaishnava karmas that one person does cannot be accomplished by other people. So these observances tell us clearly that the mind was not instructing them to do. The prerana means the thought didn't come. You go and take bath in the Ganga at 6 o'clock in the morning. If it didn't come, then we don't do it. We're just sleeping like normal. We'll get up slowly, have the brush the teeth and take bath and go for the breakfast or palara, whatever. We go and do the darshan of the temple. That's it. But that's also a Vaishnava karma in one level. But higher levels, they will get up at 4 o'clock, they'll do dhyana. Another level, 6 o'clock, they'll go for the snana first. Different types of actions we see among people, and the differences are all stemming from the prerana that they get. Why do they get such prerana? Again, that goes back to their own karma and their swabhava and their yogyata. Depending on that, they get. But whoever gets a good Vaishnava karma prerana, that is always initiated by whom? By Brahma, he says. Paduma Sambhavanu. Preraka Paduma Sambhavanu. Padma is the lotus from which the Brahma was born. So Brahma is the one who initiates jivas to, or who inspires jivas to get engaged into Vaishnava karmas. He is the Preraka. He does this as the seva of Paramatma. What is the seva in this, we may ask? Because Paramatma originally, what is the reason for him to create the world? He created the world so that he can allow the people who are eligible, or the jivas who are eligible, to enjoy bliss in moksha. See, the jivas are all fallen into, are in a state of, stupor, like seeds. But once they are taken and put into the world, the seed will germinate and grow into a big tree. That tree can enjoy its fruits and all, give out the fruits and grow into a big fruitful tree only when it is able to come out of the earth and flower itself, and accept the sunshine, the water, the air and everything. So the cultivation of the seed is happening in the garden with all the outer whatever requirements are provided. Same way, the jiva is cultivated by God in this samsara. So he is putting it in the samsara, and by that, the different types of experiences form the basis for the jiva to transform its antakarana to a pure state. Right now, when it is just come into the being, it is having the experiences of thousands of janmas, and the negative impacts of those will dictate how they function here. But they have to stand above that, understand that, and be away from the attachments of ego and excessive I-ness, mine. So these kind of things happen only when we engage in Vaishnava karmas, dana, dharma, karma. These are all enabled by Brahmadeva. So Chaturmukha Brahma is in the Chitta. He only enables this. Then he's saying, Virati, Dharmajnana, Aishwarya, Bharatiya, Arasa Preraka. Ahankara Prerakanada, Girijaramana, Rudradeva. Two are told here now. Virati Dharma Jnana. He is telling Virati means Virakti. Virakti means to have the Nigraha on the Indriyas. When the Shastra says this is Nishiddha, do not see it, then we should not see it. If this is Nishiddha or this is not what is good for you, Shastra says. So we have to be able to take that in our stride and avoid eating that food. That is Virakti. We should be able to tune. Why are we doing this? Because we love God. Because we want to develop our affection more and more towards the Guru and God. We have to follow it. And that prerana is given by Vayudeva. ನೀ ಸಾಧನ ಶರೀರವಿದು ನೀ ದಯದಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟದ್ದು ಸಾಧಾರಣವಲ್ಲ ಸಾಧು ಪ್ರಿಯನೇ is a prayer to Anila Deva, because Anila is the controller of the sadhana through the Virakti. Without the Virakti, your mind and body just travels with the world. It is only engaged in sensual pleasures. And because of that, there is no visibility of what is required for the jiva's upliftment. It's day after day, only the enjoyments are given thought, and then they drain out the indriyas and the mind, which cannot think on subtle topics like this. So it's much important that we have virakti. Dharma. What is dharma? Any action that takes you towards God is dharma. This is defined by Acharya Madhvaru. So whatever we do, it can be even washing the vessels, it can be writing out a report, whatever you do, if you can do it as the service of Paramatma, as that is the job he has given to you for today or at this time, he is the instigator of every action, knowing that, then that becomes dharma because it removes the bad karma that is attached to our antakarna. And that way we go closer to God. So dharma will be actions that will take you closer to God. And that prerana is given by Vayudevaru. Sadhana Sharira Vidu. How sadhana Sharira, what impact is Vayudevaru's? He makes you do the sadhana. Sadhana is to have the Indriya Nigraha, to be able to do actions which will take you closer to God, and that can happen through jnana. These three are also controlled by Mukhya Prana. Aishwarya means all types of sampattu. What we have in the world, what we want for our sadhana. All these sadhana sampattu nee dayadi kottadu. Sampattiga abhimani Aishwarya sampattu. Aishwarya means sampattu. What sampattu? Sadhana sampattu. This deha itself is a sadhana sampattu which Vayudevru is given us. You can see that no, when we do the Shwasa Uchvasa, the Hamsa mantra is being recited by Vayudevaru for every Shwasa that we do. And this is offered to Paramatma. The mere thinking of this, that he is doing this for us, will bring you great fruits. This is told by the great people. So if we remember that Mukhya Pranadevru is the giver of the Aishwarya, the sadhana sampattu, that are the Indriyas, the Deha, the mind, everything, and make towards dharma and jnana, and thereby leaving the world as it is, like not getting entangled into the world. These are the things that are controlled by Bharatiya Ramana. Bharati means what? Who is beloved of Bharata. Why is Bharata called as Bharata? Acharya says Bha is having the many meanings, and that entity or Vayudevru who is engrossed in, Rata means to be engrossed in, to love, to be devoted to that entity Bha. Bha 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 bha. 7 times this bha 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 bha, 4 times it goes 28. So these 28 meanings are written by Rishikesha Tirtharu as per the dictation of Mukhya Pranadevaru, who appeared as Madhvacharya. Among them, Deepti is there, Samipya is there, Tejas is there. All these meanings of Bha tell us the description of that supreme personality God. And so Bharata means who is engrossed in Paramatma. So what he does, if we can pray to Bharati and Mukhya Prana, so if we can pray to Bharati and Mukhya Prana, they will tune our mind towards this. Now they are saying Bharatiya Arasa Preraka, then Ahankara Prerakanada Girija Ramana Rudradeva, Niruta Vara Pancharatra Agama Jnana Prerakanu Uragadipanu. The Manasu is having this I-ness feeling that I experienced this. I am the follower of Madhvacharya. I have such and such a guru. My name is this. If all these things are with us only, we have an identity. We have something that we can do. We have a positive attitude towards life. So this is given by Rudradevru. I should do this. That sankalpa also comes from the mind only if there is I. So this is given by Rudradevru. And then the next level is when we have the I want to do this. What I want to do. So he is saying that Rudradevru, after that he is saying Vara Pancharatra Agama Jnana Prerakanu. One has to have the grace of Shesha. Uraga Adipa is Shesha. Shesha Devru is Chanda Purusha, they have called. Chatvara Purushahan, there are 4 Purushas. In that, the Chanda Purusha enables the study of the Pancharatra Agamas, which glorify God and which tell us how to worship Him. Until and unless we are devoted to Shesha, we will not be able to have the inspiration to study Pancharatra or to enact upon what we have studied, both. Jnana Prerakanu, that is Pancharatra Agama, Jnana Prerakanu, Uragadipanu. Then Vedokta Jnanagala, Garuda Preripa. Whatever is in the Vedas, that has to be understood through the grace of Garuda. Garuda is the Chanda Purusha, is the Veda Purusha. And Veda Purusha is in the Vijnanamaya Kosha. And he enables the required, thinking processes, contemplation, comparison, logic, everything has to be applied, and then the knowledge can be distilled into the chitta. So this Garuda is the preraka for that. Prasanna Venkateshwarana Mariyadeyim Meeradiparagi Euro. All these devatas, they are all functioning under the will of Prasanna Venkatesha. They are having that great concern, they have the great respect that they should never disobey the will of Paramatma. They should never ignore the will of Paramatma. If Paramatma says, do it, they will just do it. They don't have any questions, they don't have any doubts, they will just do it. And they do it with full affection and love to Paramatma. This is his icha. He knows what he is doing and they do it. So these type of devatas, they reside in our body and they are doing so much for us. Let us bow down to the Brahma, Vayu, Garuda, Shesha, Rudra. Now more devatas are told, because we know in the Jate he is saying Manobhimani Hanneradu Devarkalu. So he is talking here about 12 devatas. Those 12 devatas only we have to understand here. ಯಜನಾದಿ ಕರ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನದ ಪ್ರೇರಕ ಇಂದ್ರ, ಅಂಗಜ ಹರಿ ಪ್ರೀತಿಕರ ಕಾಮ್ಯ ಕರ್ಮ ಪ್ರೇರಕನು, ತ್ರಿಜಗಜ್ಜೀವರ ಜೀವ ಪ್ರಸನ್ನ ವೆಂಕಟ ಪತಿಯು. Yajanadi karma. Yajana means to perform or engage into performing yajnas. Yaja pujayam, to do puja. Puja means to offer gratitude through flowers, fruits, and nevedya and all the other things that we do. Pradakshina, namaskara, deepa, dhupa, everything. Yajanadi karma. All these karmas and their knowledge, jnanada preraka. How to do this worship? With what kind of anusandhana should I do this worship? So when we offer one bogase of flowers to Paramatma, what have to we think about in this? The flower is the pratika of your own mind. It should be very pure and it should be very fragrant and it should be soft and very fresh. That is the state of your mind when you offer something to Paramatma. The mind only should be offered to him. That is the symbolic giving of the flower. So the light is, when you light the lamp, you're symbolically expressing that knowledge is in the form of the light. Let that knowledge spread everywhere and let it enlighten me. So preraka Indra, these kind of karmas have the prerane given by Indra. Then Angaja Hari Pritikara Kamya Karma Prerakanu. Kamya karma means doing karma with one wish for some good karma only. It might be Hari Pritikara. It is a work which is done for the grace of Paramatma. But that karma also needs some prerana, and that prerana is given by Kama. Kama is here referred to as Angaja. Indra and Kama are in the 8th kaksha. So we have seen the devatas, Brahma and Vayu are in the 3rd kaksha. Then next kaksha is Saraswati Bharatiyaru. So here always we take the devatas with their patnis. Then the 5th kaksha has the Garuda, Shesha, Rudra. They were also discussed. Along with them, we have to think of their patnis who are in the 7th kaksha, Suparni, Varuni, Bharati. Then 8th kaksha is the Indra Kamas, which have been told here. Indra is the preraka for the Yajanadi karma. All these, he is giving the prerana. For the Kamya karma, which is pleasing to Paramatma, for that Kama is the Preraka. Trijagat Jivarana Jiva Prasanna Venkata Patiyu. Trijagat Jivaru. In the three worlds, or what to say, 14 worlds, the upper worlds, the middle world, and the Bhumi. All these three worlds are charged by Paramatma. He said, Jivara Jiva. Jivanara Jiva. ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು ಜೀವನರ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಜೀವ ಇರುವಂತವ್ರು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ದೇಹ ಇರುವಂತವ್ರು ಹೂ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ದ ದೇಹ ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಬೀನ್ ಗಿವನ್ ದ ದೇಹ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ರಿಸೈಡ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ದೆಮ್ he is the jiva of them. Jiva means what? Who is the charger, who gives the charge for that jiva to have the vyapti in this deha. That jiva by itself has no ability to retain the deha. When something happens, no, the jiva has to go out. No, we don't know what happened. Some disease, some accident, something happens. Then the jiva has to leave the body. If it was the independent authority to hold on to the body, it could have, but never it happens. So, who is that who holds the jiva in the body? He is the jiva. He is called as jiva here by Prasanna Venkata Dasaru. Jivanara jiva. Prasanna Venkata Patiyo. He is the Swami of myself. That is, he is talking about that Antaryami Prasanna Venkata. Now he is saying in the next kaksha, the 8th kaksha, after 8th kaksha, he skipped the Ahankarika Prana and he went to 10th kaksha. In the 10th kaksha, there are Swayambhuva Manu, Aniruddha and Shachi. Then there is Kama Patni. So here we are coming, and Guru. So here he is talking about the Manmatana Putra, and Manmatana Putranada Aniruddhanu, Jnana Mantra Prerakanagihaну, Suniti Shastra Kavitwa Preranege, Animishara Guru Karananu, Srinatha Prasanna Venkata Krishna Devana, Dinaru ಅಧೀನರಾಗಿ ಒಪ್ಪುವರು ಎಲ್ಲ ಸುರ ಅನ್ವಯ. ಸೊ ಮನುಮತ ಪುತ್ರ ಅನಿರುದ್ಧ, he is in the 10th kaksha. ಜ್ಞಾನ ಮಂತ್ರ ಪ್ರೇರಕನಾಗಿ, see how subtle these the portfolios of the devathas are. Jnana, mantra, the mantras when they are chanted and their meanings are contemplated on, that is happening only by the grace of Aniruddha. He is in charge of that. Prerakanagihanu. Then Suniti Shastra Kavitva Preranege. Good knowledge of the Niti Shastras, poetry, literature, all these can be enabled by the grace of Guru Brihaspati. Animishara Guru. Animishara Guru is Brihaspati Acharya. Karanam. Srinatha Prasanna Venkata Devana. He is the Adhinaragi Oppuvaru. All these, that is Brihaspati, Aniruddha, these devathas, they do not function according to their will. I mean, they can't just tell, okay, I'm going to grace this jiva with good knowledge of the kavitva or good knowledge of the mantra jnana. It doesn't happen like that. Why? Because the niyamaka is only Paramatma. Prasanna Venkatesha is the Swami. All the other devatas are subservient to him. Adhinaragi oppuvaru. They are functioning as per the will of that Antaryami, Paramatma, and they are so beautifully doing it. Oppuvaru means their work is so synchronized. Their work itself is like a song to God. It's a divine song to God. Oppuvaru. Yella Suranvaya. The one after the other, everyone does their work in such synchronization. Oh, if the prerna comes from the chitta, the memory is there, no? That good kavitva can be composed by, for that you need some knowledge. What kavitva you're going to write? If you're going to write a kavita about nature, you need to have knowledge about that. How the nature is and all that. So those memories have to come from Brahma, from Vayu, and then they come into this. Then this form of kavita also should be like a dharma. If that is the prerana Vayudevaru gives, then that poem becomes like the song that Prasanna Venkata has written. He has written, no, this song. ಹರಿಯ ನಗರವು ಕಲೇವರವು ತಾತ್ವಿಕರೆಲ್ಲ ಹರಿಯ ಚಾರಕರು. How did he write like that? You can see that so much of involvement of all these functions have happened at the will of Paramatma in a synchronized manner. Next, Nana Vriksha, Kusuma, Mala, Lata, Purno Dhyana Rachane, Vipranika Puja, Preranake, Himadama, Jaladana, ಕೂಪವಾರಿ ತಟಾಕಾದಿ ನೀರು ಮಾಣ ಪ್ರೇರಕನಾದ ವರುಣದೇವನು ನಾನಾ ಕಾರಣ ಮುಖ್ಯನು. Here Varuna is called as the devatha of the mind for dhyana. It's very important for portfolio, and dhyana happens only by the grace of Varuna. So he is telling this Varuna itself is also the preraka for the tataka, means the water, and the water is the one which nourishes all the plants. Vriksha, Kusuma, Lata, all these are nourished by to a full fragrant level by Varuna Deva. And Varuna is Dhyana Rachane. He allows the Jiva to contemplate. See, it's such a big, wonderful thing when you can close your eyes and shut off the outer world and then only contemplate on one object of your choice. That is, say, Krishna. So you just close your eyes and then you start thinking about Krishna. What did Krishna do? Krishna appeared in the world as the son of Vasudeva and Devaki. Then immediately the pictures of Vasudeva, Devaki also appear to you in your mind. So these contemplations are enabled by Varuna. And the purer the mind, because he is the Abhimani of the Jala. That's why when we start dhyana also, we have to remember Pundarikaksha. Pundarikaksha and Ganga. So Ganga will help us to purify ourselves. She flows in all our nadis. So when we think about Ganga, Ganga's husband is Varuna. Both of them together, they cleanse and they make our mind fit for meditation. They make us to meditate also. So we need the grace of Varuna for meditation. He is very, very important, he says. Nana Karana Mukhyanu. See, what are the Nana Karana? One full charana for Varuna only. So he is telling he is the nourisher of the, through water only the plants are nourished. Different types of plants. We have fruits, trees, then we have flowering trees, we have grains which come from the plants only. Every type of food that we eat is from the plant, and that is nourished by Varuna through water. Then he is also the Dhyana Devata. So if for us to think and contemplate and imagine, we need Varuna's help. Even any Laukika, if you are engaging in some project, you need to have an imagined outlook of how this project will look. And then only you can proceed to build it. So that is also enabled by Varuna. Mostly spiritually, to do the dhyana of Paramatma, Varuna's grace is required. He is in all the small, small wells, tatakas or lakes, rivers, everywhere. He is the Abhimani of those. Then he goes to Janara Palisuvalli Prerakanu Swayambuva Manu. ಮುಖ್ಯರಾದವರು ಪ್ರಸನ್ನ ವೆಂಕಟೇಶನ ಅನುಜ್ಞದಿಂದ ಆಧಾರದಿಂದ ಇಹರಾಗಿ ತೃಣಮಾತ್ರ ಚಲನೆ ಶಕುತಿ ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಾದ್ಯಂತ. So he is saying ಜನರ ಪಾಲಿಸುವಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೇರಕನು ಸ್ವಯಂಭುವ ಮನು. The overall, the vyavastha for the people to live in this world, whatever they require, that is all governed by Swayambhuva Manu. And Mukhyaradavaru means Swayambhuva Manu and all the other entities who are coming after him. They all are there as the Sevakas of Paramatma in this world, enabling the Jivas to do sadhana. Prasanna Venkateshana Anugnyadinda. They are dependent for his wish and will to do any work. They are only working as per his dictation. Then Adara. Okay, they are working as per his dictation. Once he starts telling, okay, do this, can they do it on their own? They can't do. Adara. They need his support. They need his sustenance. They need his presence inside them, making them perform everything. Adhara. That's why he says, Anugyadinda, Adharadinda, Iharu Agi. Only because he has given them that portfolio, he has made them to reside in these bodies, and he has made them to do the work, they are doing it. So that complete dependence of every jiva, however big it may be. See, Varuna is so big that he can control all the nadis and all the lakes. He can control the minds of people to perform dhyana. But then he is under the control of Paramatma. That is why he is saying, Trinamatra chalane shakuti yarige illa. Adyanta. Adyanta means from the beginning. We started from the beginning, Brahma. Till the end, whatever all the devatas are doing, anyone does not have any special prowess to act on their own. Everyone needs the prerana, everyone needs the support, everyone needs the energy which Paramatma only can supply. He is the infinite source. So he's saying, the Veda mantra says, Tena vina trinamapi na chalati. That is told here. Trinamatra chalane shakuti yarige illa adyanta. So trinamatra means even a small, little bit. A little bit can I move. A little bit can I think. Little bit can I flip my eyes. No, he says. Nothing anyone can do without the will of Paramatma. That is very clear. From the beginning till the end, any devata, whatever their expertise might be, they still depend on Paramatma only. And every jiva also depends on Paramatma only. So this overall supremacy and beautiful synchronization of how the devatas work as a service of Paramatma with love towards him. If we recognize that, then nothing in the world can be the same again. But that awareness is not there with us always. We keep reading, we keep understanding, and we keep forgetting. So we have to keep reading again so that we remember this. So beautifully, these devatas are working for us inside our own body, and we forget them. So we shouldn't do that. And that, as a remembrance, Prashna Venkatadasaru, he has made one small Suladhi, which gives you the main points which for the workings of the mind, he says. Manobhimanigalu 12 ದೇವರ್ಗಳು ಪ್ರಸನ್ನ ವೆಂಕಟ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಜಗನ್ನಿಯಾಮಕನು. In the niyamana of the world, there are chetanas. No, if everyone is going to do what they like in any organization, the head will tell what has to be done. The CEO of the company, along with the board of directors, will decide on the plan of action for that year. There will be plans for how much financial, how much of finance they have to require, what is their production, how they can improve production, how can they improve sales. All these things will be decided, and accordingly it will come down in the hierarchy of that organization to the lowest level, what each one has to do in order to achieve that goal. Same way here, Prasanna Venkata Krishna is the Jagan Niyamaka. He is the Niyamaka. He will decide what has to be done, what will be done by every soul. And towards that end, the management will be taking that jiva. So what we have to achieve, he knows that. He will make the circumstances to happen. He will make the mind to have that prerana, and the body has sufficient strength to engage in that work. That is his portfolio. Paramatma is a niyamaka. So when we bow down to him and do the sharanagati, that it is your will, let your will be done. ನಿನ್ನ ಚಿತ್ತಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದದು ಎನ್ನ ಚಿತ್ತಕ್ಕೆ ಬರಲಿ ಅನ್ಯತಾ ಬಯಕೆಯ ಕೊಡದಿರು. You have the will, and your will only will come true. So let me have my will tuned to your will. That is the prerana that I would like. It's a prayer that we can give to Paramatma. And in this he says, Manobhimanigalu 12 devarkalu. Here he has cited 12 devatas as the Mano Abhimanigalu. Here we see that the first and foremost will is Paramatma's. Hari is the Niyamaka. Then Brahma, Vayu. Here we don't count the three devatas. If we don't count, then we'll see what happens. We see Brahma, Vayu. Then you have Garuda, Shesha, Rudra. Then you have Indra, Kama. After that, you have Aniruddha and Brihaspati. Then you have Varuna and Swayambhuva Manu. So 12. In that, the supreme most one is Paramatma. This is one way to count. That is the number of devatas that here Prasna Venkatadasaru has cited and told about. Other way is, if you want only up to Indra Kama level, if you want to count, that's also one way to count. Then you have Garuda, you have Brahma, Vayu, Saraswati, Bharati. Garuda, Shesha, Rudra, Suparni, Varuni, Parvati, Indra, Kama. 12. So, but what Dasaru has told here is these 12. 12 devatas, starting from Hari, he is telling. Deva, he is the Deva, others are devatas who function as per his will. But they all are in the process of controlling the mind. And the mind is the main charge of the Deha. Whatever happens, happens because of the mind's thoughts in the Deha. I am thirsty. This knowledge comes to us in the mind. Then we go and drink water. I am sleepy. Then we go and sleep. I am hungry. We take, then it says, no, you have to prepare for tomorrow. That is the brain. Then the mind says, okay, what should I do for that? It starts thinking and then it starts doing. So everything that we do is starting from the mind's thoughts. So mind is controlled by all these devatas in different levels. Let us bow down to all these devatas and also to Prasanna Venkatadasaru, who has so simply narrated to us in a very wonderful way how the mind works through the devatas at the will of Paramatma. अस्मत् गुरुवंतर्गत भारती रमण मुख्य प्राणांतर्गत श्री लक्ष्मीनारायण प्रेरण्य लक्ष्मीनारायण प्रीत्यर्थम श्री कृष्णार्पणमस्तु हरे श्रीनिवास